So the Yakuza games are known for their very serious gameplay, each taking place in semi-modern Japan, focusing around crime in Japan's seedy underbelly. But now... So Yakuza Ishin, or Like a Dragon Ishin is the more accurate name, but you know no one really knows about that, they're all gonna call it Yakuza like me. Focuses on not Kiryu, and not Majima, and not... okay, are all these characters the same? Well no, it's based on a real historical event in Japan in the 1800s, and they replaced those figures with characters who look and sound exactly like the ones we know from the mainline Yakuza games, as fan service. But remember, these are not the same characters, they're not their ancestors or anything like that. And this game originally only was released in Japan, because I mean, it's very, very Japan. Try selling this in the West back then. But now with the remaster slash remake on the brand new engine, which makes the main characters look so good, and the random NPCs, where are the pixels? We finally get a chance to try it out, and I hope they continue this venture of bringing more Yakuza over, because I really want to try that zombie spin-off. So it starts out with not Kiryu and the not gang.
The gang's all here.
Assassinating some people, but then after looking like the most Giga Chad man you've ever seen,
You have the physique of Atlas.
you get a flashback showing the events leading up to this point, where our not Kiryu is called Ryoma and returns back to his hometown of Tosa after spending time away learning how to be a samurai, meaning he now has a license to open carry a sword in public, and he seems real proud of that. Also, you can turn on this feature to learn about the Japanese words, and it's funny in that anytime the word appears again, you get the same glossary definition. Like, you want to know about Tosa? Well, buddy, you're sure as heck gonna know about Tosa. So Ryoma sees a woman and child getting bullied and turns on his base personality trait, which gets him arrested. Why does this always happen? Which also means... this isn't the only time you see this, by the way. However, one high-up official is his adoptive dad, who busts him out. And back in the real world, he gets stopped by a guy who's like, hey, check out my pots. Ew. And alright, father, since you freed us, we will try our best to repay you by... chopping wood. So you learn that your dad wants to overthrow the oppressive government and wants you to join his son at his club. It's some small-time political thing where they have one key difference. Well, that changes things. So yeah, it's the usual Yakuza combat where after fighting a group of enemies, you can be a brawler, where you punch, kick, spin, then grab items to help in the fight, like some wrestling match. You also get the sword, which has a charge attack, but then you got the brand new weapon, gun. It is so fun. But that's not all. Because you have two hands, right? Why not sword in one hand, gun in the other? It is even more fun! It's the best at clearing out a lot of enemies and also stun locking them a little with no real blocking or parrying, but you can just pirouette away. Ryoma is very light on his feet. Yeah, the gun is so OP. Also, come on. Real samurai use a gamepad? Is that a challenge? Oh, okay, I'm a real samurai, I use the gamepad. So Ryoma meets up with his adoptive brother and joins the club, where the two will now help the dad to overthrow the Tosa government. However, someone in a mask breaks in and kills the dad for running away, as we get blamed for the death. Gee, this feels so familiar. So we bust our way through. This weapon is so fun. So we find the ninja who uses this other fighting style, which isn't that common in the area, because he doesn't have a gun. However, he escapes and Ryoma is like, revenge time, and dedicates his entire life to hunting this one guy, while he tells his brother, hey, go continue dad's work, and Ryoma flees. So now we are in Kyo, staying in this inn. Wait a minute, is that Yuki? Real fans know. So they bring her back as his new character and sort of try to make her a love interest where she falls for Ryoma, but he's so block-headed, of course he doesn't even know. Don't worry, Yuki, I remember the good old days managing a club of women to rob men of their money while selling them overpriced drinks. I remember. And this is the main area where you have so many shops to buy items, food, and each vendor you grow a bond with by giving them more money. And doing this more ranks it up with special dialogue. Plus you got the Yakuza staples like the singing rhythm game. Hey, do you happen to have that one song? They have it! Why is he crying? And you got these side stories, which are the bread and butter of the Yakuza games, adding personality, or whatever the heck this is. Don't join them! Now you got equipment like different weapons, such as changing your bullets to set people on fire. It was the 1800s Japan, okay? As well as leveling up your many fighting styles, but I was just speedrunning the gun sword one to unlock more finisher moves. However, don't disregard the other styles. Ryoma is a very well-balanced fighter. And when he's not punching, he's fishing.
I can explain.
Wait, you think that's weird? Well, this isn't weird. This happens in every football changing room. So yeah, we get the information that on the dad's killer by this gentleman, as we are just enjoying the chill in the bath together. But then this guy bursts in, is very familiar, and is like, "Oi, my turn!" The testosterone is off the charts here, and the only way to settle this is by fighting. Shame we can't use a gun though. Wait, is that a metaphor? Also, it is nice, at least to not be in the same exact dang city as all the Yakuza games previously. Here you got more areas that eventually connect up, like this seedy, secluded area with a crazy mad scientist who wants you to test his cannon by playing baseball. How are you curving it? So Ryoma is here because I forgot to mention it's been a year since his last little bungee jump, and now he wants to find his brother and see how the overthrow of Tosa is going. Ryoma, on the other hand, has worked out, eventually, that the assassin's secret technique is only used by this certain gang, and they all use it, so the best way to find out the dad's killer is to join the gang and find out from the inside. However, now in this sleazy area, he finds the brother, but shocker, he's actually working with the Tosa government to then overthrow them from the inside. This bafflingly annoys Ryoma, who is like, "What the heck? They killed our dad and you want to work with them? Oh, by the way, I'm joining the dad's killer gang to work with them and find out who the killer is. Totally different to what you're doing." And he storms out all angry. I mean, you never seem like a smart guy to me. Who else would put their body in front of a live cannon? So Ryoma is about to get the anger out of his head by gambling on chickens. So we eat the loser, right? You can also upgrade or buy new weapons, and there are a lot, but I love my shiny sword. And then,
What the hell, what?
So yeah, you can explore the area further. We got a dancing rhythm game, and surprise, I loved it, okay? On the higher difficulty, you have 2 areas to keep track of at once, and really had my eyes going like this. Now Ryoma heads out to join the gang, fans of the one guy, Fieri, and beating them will let him in. This is kinda tough since this guy fought a bear in the previous life, but that isn't the only member we know.
It's like one of my Japanese animes.
Yeah, I'm part of the villain club. But that can wait because now we got time for some gambling. I lost everything. Well, I have one chance at the Chohan dealer where it's very simple. You guess if the 2 dice will be even or odd. And I wasn't losing and thus raised the bond with her. And she was so won over by Ryoma's manliness, she kisses him. But he's like, wait. What does that mean? I'm not sure I understand this implication. He ain't the sharpest tool when it comes to love. Also, Haruka is back. Remember her? The kid that Kiryu adopts and becomes a pseudo-daughter for multiple games. Yes, he does it again, as the girl's parents have died, leaving her all the debt, and people want her house. So Kiryu is like, nah, I'ma help you make the money back. By planting and picking crops, cutting vegetables, and selling them to people. Uber Eats got nothing on us. Yeah, remember when this was about the samurai? So returning back to Kyo, I decided to check out the bathhouse again. But a guy stole my clothes! I also found this doggo. He liked his bone. Speaking of boning, I found this street with ladies of the night. Vampire ladies, And this is actually so hilarious because you first have to outdrink her by balancing the drink with it not hitting the top or bottom while she sculls the rest. Then if you win that, round 2 is rock, paper, scissors. But every time you lose, you strip. I didn't pay for this. Well, it turns out you can use the third eye 3 times, which slows down time to see what Anna will do. And you can use that after 2 wins with luck. And then once you win that, you got a final 3 rounds of another minigame where Ryoma has to fight his temptations in a shoot 'em up minigame where you shoot her heart while Ryoma poses naked. It's 3 rounds of non-stop. What is even happening? If you actually care, standing still and mashing the button seems to make it quite easy. And if you win, you win. But it's actually so hard because if you lose any round, you gotta do it all again. And it's pretty expensive. But Kiryu is not happy with just 1 time a day. I don't know how he does it. He gets called over for a big, voluptuous bodies in another place. I mean, you are technically correct. So that's Like a Dragon Ishin, which is very much a Yakuza game set in 1800s Japan. It has everything you expect from a Yakuza game, with at least an easier way to jump in, since it is a spin-off and you don't need to know anything about the other entries, since all the characters are different to their lookalikes. Now, I personally prefer the modern crime story take. The setting is so refreshing, and Ryoma really does act a lot like Kiryu, and man, still can't get over how fun that gameplay is just by adding a gun.
Trojan, RamZaes, Magnum, Sheik.
And a special cheesy thank you to my patrons, including Committer's Crime, Coxel Sin, John Porter Gill, Master Pro, Nira, and Worker B.